This time I'll call the January 11th, 2024 meeting to order for the Dickinson County Commission. Would you please stand and join in the flag salute? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We do not have anything to add to the agenda. We do have a full agenda, but there's nothing to add. So I will move that we approve the agenda as printed.
I'll second it.
We have the motion and the second for approval of the agenda. Any discussion or question? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The consent agenda includes the minutes of the January 4th meeting, also current expenditures of the year of $598,841.13. The current year hand checks of $140.60, a security payment of $3,445, escape tax $88.50, added tax of $463.84, abatements of $2,911.22, expenditures from the prior year $108,793.82.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have the motion and the second for approval of the consent agenda. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Commission comments. Craig.
Yeah, Monday I was on a Zoom call from 11:30 to about 10 after 12 with the KAC, the officers down there, the offices. It was on about the LAVTR, which is local advertising tax reduction. That's all I have. I guess we'll mention we'll be going to speak on the 24th for County Government Day, local County Government Day. That's all I have.
Okay. Ron?
This morning we did get the opportunity to listen to all the department heads and the jobs they're involved with and things they're accomplished with the county. But I want to share one instance of how appreciative and the kind of work that the county employees do. And this is in regard to our roads. And we know they cleaned them off and kept us safe through this weather. But many of you drive down 77 highway, which was just overlaid recently. You'll find it's in disrepair. It's in bad shape. It's overnight. And our guys overlay our roads and they look wonderful. That overlay is sticking on there and holding. But I do challenge anybody to drive down 77. Look what happened almost overnight, how the overlay is coming completely off the roads. Big potholes, and near Junction City is where it's the worst. So that just shows you a little proof of the quality of work they do for us here. And it's very appreciative, all of them. Thank you.
Okay. Earlier this morning, we had a meeting in the work study session of the department heads and also the elected officials, and they gave us updates as far as each department. And so anyway, that went well. I am going to attend. It's actually a Republican meeting, but I was invited. And Senator Karen Tyson, I believe, is going to be here Monday night. And when I say here, she'll be in Abilene at the senior center. And so that's an open type meeting, but it's sponsored by the Republican women of Dickinson County. That's all I have. We do not have any petitions or proclamations today. This would be opportunity for public comment. If there's anyone that would want to make a comment on any item that is not on the agenda, this would be opportunity to do so. And you just need to step to the podium and give your name and address. And then we're trying to keep 3 or 4 minutes for comments. If anyone does have any comments. And it appears we do not have any public comments at this time. And so we'll go ahead and move on to the next item. It's reports of county officers. Janelle.
Commissioners, and I'm sure Marcus will go over that, the end of month reports, preparing for the new year. And you touched on some of the expenditures that we have for prior year and current year. And we start off the year always with some big numbers. We pay the invoices, for our software maintenance, any hardware, things like that. So that's why some of those are so large. Also, just wanted to touch on our legislative luncheon that we had last week. It was attended by all 3 of our representatives, Senator Clays, Representative Hill, and Representative Bloom, and we appreciate that they were here. We had the department managers and elected officials also in attendance for that meeting. And we had discussion on a variety of topics and I was pleased that they were able to be here. So that was good. The other thing I wanted to remind everyone of that county offices will be closed on January 15th, 2024 in observance of Martin Luther King Day. And that's all I would have.
Okay, thank you. Doug?
We're working on filling the fourth position in regards to the court-appointed counsel. As you know, we have 3 that are under contract, and one of our 4 has given notification that she will withdraw at the end of January. So we're in the process of finding a 4th individual, and I'm hopefully I'll have a report for the council in about 2 weeks, and we'll figure it out. So all I got.
The gentleman from the more serious felon, can't remember that E1, 2, 3, and 4. Had any luck with that?
The gentleman you were talking to out of McPherson County that might take on those cases.
That don't know the answer to that yet, and that would be a different one than what.
Right, I know that. Yeah, it could be an addition.
Don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't heard back from him in regards to that matter as of yet. And where we are with it.
Can't remember that 1, 2, and 3 are the only that they are.
The severity of it.
Yeah. 9's the lowest.
Severity levels,
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. Okay.
In that area there. We'll see. I know he's taking cases in Saline County, and they may be a little over with it, but don't know yet. But I'll keep you posted. Thank you.
Okay, under notices and communications, we did have a few things here from Kansas Department of Health and Environment. It's just to advise us that the proposed Kansas water pollution control permit for the reference facility, and it is a facility for the city of Solomon, but that has been filed. And so they've done the proper paperwork on that, and we'll have also a copy of that here. And then we also have one, and this is for a permit in the Smoky Hill River Basin for Steve Johnson of Enterprise, Kansas. And it's in regards to the amount of cattle that he can keep at his location. And so this is something that is sent to us, and they not only if it's someone in our county, but it's for across the state. So we received that. We also had a letter as far as the public hearing. Now, has that been rescheduled, Janelle, as far as what the city?
Yes, it has been rescheduled to January 23rd at 6 p.m. at the Abilene Public Library.
Okay.
Wasn't there another hearing that was supposed to be the 16th?
Well, I think.
We were supposed to have it this week.
No, there was another public hearing.
Okay.
The city's one
That was
is,
on the comprehensive plan for the city.
for the city. Okay.
Still on for the 16th?
As far as, have you heard anything different for that? No, I think so.
And on the 14th Street and some of the discussion as far as the intersection and so on, Janelle, do you want to clarify as far as it's within the county, but we aren't really the lead.
Correct.
For that particular project?
The city of Abilene had applied through the state of Kansas for the cost share program for improvements in that area. And they're holding a public meeting to talk about different options on the access, if they would leave it as a 4-way stop, if they would put a roundabout in, and they wanted to get the public's input on that. So it's a cost share that we are sharing with the city on that for the improvement for their industrial park, and then also the Golden Belt area there. So we realize the economic impact of that area. So.
And I know I've received a few questions or comments on that, and I'm not sure. Since they rescheduled this, perhaps I'll be at the meeting, but probably someone from the county will be. But
yes,
but we're more in the listening mode and gather information. We aren't there necessarily to
right, correct. So
comment. Other than individually, anyone can.
Exactly.
That's the purpose of a hearing. So.
Exactly.
Okay. The other thing I had here, and this is from Darlene Province, she lives on 1400 Avenue. And she just wanted to send kudos to the county highway crew for staying on top of the roads last year and then especially now. And appreciated those roads being cleared. And, that was something when every one of us was going home and ready to stay in for the evening because the storm was rolling in. That's when our road crews were stepping into action. And actually before that, they still were putting brine and
Right.
preparing the trucks and equipment and so on. But they were up pretty much all night.
About 30 hours and roughly 6,000 tons of material, salt and sand. So they worked very hard to get them cleaned up. So it was a pretty good storm. We haven't had this snow like that for quite a few years.
Okay. And we also received a copy, and this was an article on Harrington happenings. And says a large gift of food was given to Harrington Food Bank from Enel, which would be the wind turbine people.
Mhm.
And so they wanted to point that out. Also, I happened to drive down into that area just the other day on a different matter, but they're working, probably not now, but as fast as they can on that Casey's project.
Yes.
They're at the intersection of the highway. And that looks like that's going to be a very nice facility. And they had the pumps. I don't think they were in place, but they were on a pallet of some sort, and they were doing a lot of work there. So I'm not sure what the time frame is on that, and I'm sure it's weather related too.
Exactly. Yes. Thatcher hasn't said anything lately. So.
But looks like they're well along on that. Did anyone else have any other item?
I'd like to go back over the sales tax and tax balance and stuff. And Marcus, you want to kind of cover that for us?
Marcus Rothschild, Assistant County Administrator. So we had most of our end of year numbers are coming in. We do have still some accounts payable runs that are coming through just this month. So we'll have finalized numbers a little closer to the end of February, and our auditors are planning to come in about mid-February, I believe, close to February 19th or 20th, somewhere around in that time frame. And we should be able to get official numbers then. But right now, our end of year balances are coming in really right within where we had anticipated with the budget. I was going through most of the funds and trying to analyze just to make sure that we're going to be starting out the year where we expected to, and we really are in a good position. The one that I touched on, we just had the amendment on, was the environmental services, which we did some extra work in 2023. So basically, we just kind of utilized some of their fund balance so the year ahead, and then in order to make sure that we got the concrete in there for the building, we're able to take care of some of those challenges that we're hit with. So we'll just start 2024 about $100,000 lower than what we had originally budgeted, and because those expenses came out at the end of 2023. I did want to touch base on sales tax. It was down, and our collections were actually down in 2023 by about $7,500, a little less than 0.5%. Our last month came in pretty low there in December, which is actually the October sales tax collections that we received 2 months later. So we'll continue to watch that and see if that trend moves forward into 2024 collections. We hope not, but we did have a strong year again in sales tax. Total for the general fund sales tax we brought in was $1,743,016. And for the highway sales tax, we brought in $1,636,447. And Craig had kind of touched on it in the study session prior to the meeting about getting a little bit more of a breakdown on how those sales tax on the highway side were being utilized.
Request, we give our public safety one.
Mhm.
We have something like for the road and bridge sales tax.
Mhm.
And break that out on there. Yeah. Yep. Do that.
So how's that coming?
Which part?
The
So
public sales tax, the committee, the
I have got TBS coming in next week. We're going to meet and look at a couple sites for the towers, and the RFP will be going out to vendors. And we're setting up a meeting with the tech committee, which is part of the 911 advisory board. And they'll look at the radios and make a recommendation to the advisory board, who then in turn will make a recommendation to you. And then we'll start also sending out RFPs to the local financial institutes on the lease purchase of them. So, of everything. So
and the state is contracted. I mean, we know what the power is going to be,
we know what the towers are going to be because it is
state contract.
a state contract, yes. And they have to be Motorola. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, the next part of the agenda is to consider resolutions. And since this is the organization meeting that we have for the year, we have quite a few resolutions to consider just on a housekeeping basis, but still they need to be formalized. Part of that, the first resolution is 011124. This is the annual reorganization and appointments, which includes the fee schedules, the payroll calendar, and the pay grade schedule. Apart from this, we do need to formalize the chairmanship of so is there a nomination as far as chair?
I'll make a motion. We keep it the same.
Is there a second? And, we really didn't have too much discussion on this, but it is something that it can be, doesn't have to be the same every year. I think there's some benefits to having a rotation in place. So there's not a second to that motion. Is there another motion to consider?
I'll make a motion that Craig be chairman.
I'll second that. And do you want vice chair as part of that motion? That would be separate.
That would be separate, yes.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We need the second part of that in the event that the chairman isn't available that day, who the vice chair is. I guess you can't do both, can you, Craig? I've been nominated as vice chair. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
We have this motion and the second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Is there another piece that we have to do separate?
You'll need to do complete resolution 011124 to appoint the county health officer, set the hours of the courthouse and that. So I think it would be best to separate those out.
Do we need to read through those?
We can read through that. Yes.
Probably should, yes.
Probably should, to be safe. So
Need to read them, Lynn?
Yes, if you would, because
new chair.
No, I'm not now.
he's not yet, he's not
Yeah.
official, but he can, but I
You're
would be
delegating.
glad to have you read those.
Okay. 011124, appoint John Holgram as County Health Director. Designate official courthouse operation as 10 a.m. to 5 a.m. daily with holiday closures set forth in the Dickinson County Employee Handbook.
8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
I mean, of course, if you'd like to.
No.
We haven't discussed that.
Change the hours.
Here, 7:30?
Designate work session And meeting times for the commission as Thursday with work sessions from 9:30 to 11, with the regular meeting starting at 11 a.m. until conclusion. Designate the Abilene Reflector Chronicle as official county newspaper for 2024. Appoint Commissioner Peterson as representative to the Central Kansas Mental Health Center Board for 2024. Appoint Commissioner Roller as representative to the North Central Kansas Juvenile Detention Board for 2024. Appoint Commissioner Chamberlain as representative to the North Central Regional Planning Commission Board for 2024. Designate the official depositories for the county for 2024 as UMB Bank, Abilene Branch of Astra Bank, Solomon State Bank, Solomon Branch, Solomon State Bank, Abilene Branch, Pinnacle Bank of Abilene, Dickinson County Bank of Enterprise, Central National Bank of Harrington, Citizens State Bank of Woodbine, First National Bank of Hope Branch, First National Bank of Hope, Harrington Branch, First Bank Kansas, Abilene Branch, Bennington State Bank, Abilene Branch. Adopt the official fee schedule for 2024 to be published on the county website. Adopt 2024 payroll counter as submitted by the HR director, and adopt the official employee pay grade schedule for 2024. Be resolved that this take effect upon the passage by the Board of County Commissioners past this day, the 11th of January, 2024. I'm so moved.
I'll second it.
We have the motion, we have the second to adopt resolution 011124. And that includes the chairman, vice chair, and also all of the items of designating the appointed respective positions or functions for the year of 2024. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Sign that, Lynn, before we get out of here.
Yes.
Sign, right?
So, and there'll be quite a few between the banks and others, things to sign. Having said that, Craig is our chairman, and so I'll relinquish the gavel to him.
No, it's not that way.
It isn't?
No.
I finished the meeting?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, well, I've tried to make this so smooth, and Doug's our parliamentarian there. Are you going to back?
You guys, you'll take care of it.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and move on then. And next item is the resolution 011124A. And this is the gap waiver resolution. So Janelle, would you
This is
kind of explain that a little bit?
certainly, this is a housekeeping matter that we determined that the financial statements and the reports for December 31st, 24 are conforming to the state budget law and the cash basis law. And this is a matter that letting the state know and citizens that we are adopting the state's financial requirements, not the Government Accounting and Auditing Board financial reports for the year. So
Okay.
Marcus probably could explain it better than I can.
Are there any questions on that? And once again, much of this is just procedural that we do annually.
Correct.
I'll go ahead and make the motion that we adopt resolution 011124A. This is the gap waiver resolution.
I'll second it.
We have the motion, we have the second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next item we have is the appointment to the Planning and Zoning Board. And this is resolution 011124B. And the positions would be filled by James Hedstrom and Kelly Fink. They're both residents of the county.
I'll make a motion to accept resolution 011.
Second.
Okay, we have the motion, we have the second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And that's something, Janelle, do you or Tim would notify the individuals, I guess, on all of these,
Right. James is
particular one?
continuing his appointment on the board. He's been on for quite a few years, but Kelly is a new member. Donita Fellbush, we'd like to thank her for her time as a representative on the board, and Kelly is taking her place.
Okay, and she's done that for quite a few years, so
Yes.
great job.
Yes.
Okay, the next resolution to consider is 011124C. This is reauthorizing the Dickinson County participation in the ROZ.
Commissioners, this is the rural opportunity zone that the state legislature put in place quite a few years ago. And this is another housekeeping matter that if a former citizen moves back to the county, then there are funding that would help them pay for schooling, financial assistance, pay for their student loans. And this is just authorizing that Dickinson County does participate in that rural opportunity zone and gives them the chance to request funds from the state to help pay off student loans.
Okay,
Move to approve resolution 011124C.
Second.
we have the motion and the second to adopt that resolution. Any other discussion? It's a good economic tool.
It is, definitely.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item we have is resolution 011124D. This is amending the zoning of a parcel in Reinhardt Township from Ag 40 to Ag to S-R, which is suburban residential. And so on this, we'll take a little bit more time because this matter isn't necessarily just an annual type event. This is one time. And so, Tim, you've got the information, and also we have the property owner here. And so if you'd go ahead and tell us about that resolution, a little bit, the process that's been gone through for this.
Okay, the Tim Hamilton, Planning and Zoning Director. The Planning Commission met on December 21st, 2023 to consider a 4-lot residential subdivision known as McLaughlin Edition. And as part of that consideration, they also looked at or recommending that that particular parcel that encompasses those 4 lots is rezoned to a suburban residential district. All lots meet the required setbacks, lot width and depth ratio for that district. And therefore, they voted unanimously for that particular rezoning to take place.
Okay. And part of that zoning, since there's a change, what type of notification is given to adjacent property owners?
We typically give notification within 1,000 of the boundaries of that particular, in this case, the amended district, which would take in those 4 lots. So everyone within 1,000 feet of those 4 lots that are being proposed would have been notified.
And that's kind of proximity known as 2400 Avenue
2400 in Rain.
and Rain. Okay, so just south of Chapman, a few miles.
Northwest corner of that particular intersection.
And we did have information as far as what the lot looked like and the township in Reinhardt and so on.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So procedurally, this is actually a 2-part. And the first one, the one we're considering now, is just amending the zoning.
That's correct.
Is there any question? We'll consider a motion, but is there any question before we get to that part? Okay, so is there a motion to adopt 011124D, which is amending the zoning of a parcel in Reinhardt Township?
So moved.
Second it.
Okay, so Craig has the motion, the second from Ron. that we do that, and this will be from Ag 40 to suburban residential for that specific property. Any other discussion or question? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, the second part of that is a resolution 011124E, and this is to accept the final plat of the McLaughlin addition. And so Tim, and we also have the owner of the property here. So if there's any questions or comments, we, welcome from anyone.
Yes, this again, on December 21st, that same hearing with the zoning consideration was also for a recommendation to approve McLaughlin addition. Again, on the northwest corner of Rain Road and 2400. This subdivision is composed of 4 lots, each 8+ acres. And as mentioned, it does meet all the requirements for the suburban residential district. No comments were heard from the public during the public hearing portion of that meeting, other than just some general comments about concerns over what the new neighbors may think of the surrounding uses. And so other than that, it's, I think the owner is here if you have any other comments or questions.
And this lot size actually per lot will exceed the minimum standard.
That's correct.
So there's no issue there, and there's a road to driveways to and develop the lot. And
that's correct. This is what we refer to in our zoning regulations as a short form plat, which is, it doesn't require a preliminary plat, which means there's no new roads being proposed, no new easements being proposed. So it's just basically a fast track, if you will, way of getting, anything less than 5 lots to split as long as they're fronting existing roads.
Okay.
For people who are, what is the minimum size we require for lots?
Minimum size would be 3 acres, and that reflects what we have for our environmental code.
For the septic.
Yeah, I just,
so if someone buys a lot and they want to put a house up, this would be residential, they still would notify you for
a building.
permitting,
Yeah.
And
then they would contact environmental services for the well and septic as well.
And the highway department for the driveway, to make sure we've got visual on both sides and then for access.
okay.
And we have that online.
Good point. Are there any questions or comments, concerns?
we approve resolution 011124E, accepting the final plat of McLaughlin addition.
Second it.
We have the motion, we have the second for approval of accepting the final plat of the McLaughlin addition, which is outlined in resolution 011124E. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. And congratulations. It's always, I think it's good news when someone, in a way, you might say you're investing in the county. And, that looks like an excellent site for development and.
Had a lot of inquiries over the years about doing
Yeah. So, and I know yours is kind of a longtime family in the Reinhardt area or Chapman. So, yeah. So, okay. Well, thank you for being here. And, it just so happened you showed up on the reorganization meeting because normally you would have been 15 minutes sooner. Yeah. You wouldn't want to miss out on that. Okay. Is there any unfinished business? There is none. Under other business, we have just a couple items left. First, to accept the resignation from Lincoln Township from Dan Bass, and he notified us that he wishes to resign from that position. I'd move that we accept that resignation.
I'll second it.
We have the motion and the second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. The only item we have left other than adjournment, but before we officially adjourn, we have an executive session, and this is to be for 10 minutes, and we will start that at 11:36. And it's for discussion of non-elected personnel and would include Janelle and Doug and the commission. I'd make that motion. We have the motion and the second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. So we'll be back in the public here in 10 more minutes. We have completed our executive session, and it was for 10 minutes, discuss non-elected personnel. I'll go ahead and make the motion that we return to regular session.
Second.
We have the motion and the second to return to regular session from executive session. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries, and we're unmuted and all that.
Correct.
So, okay. As a result of our executive session to discuss non-elected personnel, we did receive some information, but there's no action or motions or further discussion to take place at this time. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
We have the motion and second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.